things, and it's why he's such a viable pick. But that's why also we see Expeke on Ahri. That movement, the ability to get yourself out of a dangerous situation is amazing. We see a lot of the bans that we saw yesterday. Maokai, the support jungle pick, being very detrimental to team play for the opposing team. Gragas out, there it is. Yorick and Ahri as well, so nobody gets their mainstays of the tournament off the bat.
And immediately insta-locking onto Shen. You saw right away just how fast those bans went out. These teams knew what they wanted to take away. The Gragas and Yorick ban, not surprised at all. Less worried about that Corki, and I can understand that generally speaking, attack damage carries have a bit more play in what you're gonna pick in lane, how you're gonna play that out. Of course, Animated right now looking to grab that Corki for Lamia. Definitely is a champion he played very well in that first round match. Is a champion that Moscow 5 played very well additionally, but still Moscow 5 saying Shen is our guy. We're gonna grab him. I think when he has been played, he's been in the top lane every single time. But he can jungle as well, so you never know for sure.
You know, we might even see an aggressive jungler coming from Moscow 5. That's how they've been playing. As we said, Acer pulling that comparable online aggressive Moscow 5, and they like those aggressive junglers. That Shyvana, that Lee Sin, both in the game, and both still ready to be picked for the M5 team. M5 BenQ now picking up Sona, and it looks like they're going to be going quite safe on this one. Any engages that they have can be broken out with that Sona Crescendo ultimate. Shen as well, a very safe pick for helping your team in the team fight. A lot of long-range poke, however, already coming from Fnatic.
Yeah, and I really like what Moscow 5 on this team has on this team so far. It's a lot of area of effect crowd control, and it's still there as Genja picks up the lock-in on Lee Sin. And a couple of interesting choices here. Now Draven, I would not expect to see that they've already grabbed Corki, but they have locked in. And again, we saw that in the first match. He picked Jace up against Shen and said, yes, this is going to work very well. And it's great because Jace can actually break that channel on Shen's ultimate. That Stand United, that Shen ultimate, so incredibly powerful. One of the main reasons that teams pick him is it's a global range ultimate that puts a shield on a teammate. He channels for 3 seconds, and then he appears at his teammate's side, making a 2v2 into a 3 versus 2. And that is exceptionally powerful. However, being a channeled ability, Jace can stun him, can knock him back, and it's going to break that channel, prevent him from teleporting, and you keep that advantage. You know, if you're going to jump in on that fight, you let Jace stop that channel. It's a really good pick.
So this is going to be the first time M5 BenQ has not banned out Nocturne, and it gets picked immediately by Fnatic. Also, when Curse played against Jace, when he was on SOAS, they had to ban him the second game. So we'll see how this goes for them as well. As I said, Moscow 5 BenQ picking up that Lee Sin jungler, very aggressive. And we'll have to see if they switch up the aggression to top lane and focus SOAS so they don't have that Shen Jace counter.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens here. They're getting their last 2 picks underway. We know what the jungler is. We know what the top lane is. They're considering their mage and their attack damage carry right now. The Ashe pick is going to be great. We've seen Genja do amazingly as Ashe. Also considering Ezreal, who's been an exceptionally popular champion this tournament. Not quite 100%, but he's been in so many of these games, and they are going to lock in with Ezreal and Ryze, giving them a team with a lot of mobility, a lot of crowd control, and a fair amount of long-range damage as well.
I believe from what I have seen, this is the first time we'll be seeing Ryze picked throughout the tournament. I don't remember seeing him in too many games yesterday. And yes, it is. And we may have an Anivia coming out here as they do not have their AP middle. They are looking to grab this. They have that jungle Nocturne. They had a lot of long-range composition poke here. Jace being able to throw down the gate, get extra range on his Q. Leona stunning from 9 to 1,000 range. And Corki just able to get in and out of the fight and fire those missiles from wherever he wants to.
Yeah, and that is going to be the lock-in on Anivia. Fnatic's team composition so full of long-range power here. You just mentioned Jace with the gate into Shock Blast, tossing that out over 1,000 range. Leona's Solar Flare, the same kind of deal. She can stun you from so far away. Nocturne, his ultimate Paranoia. First it blinds everyone so they can't see their teammates, and he's going to dive in from thousands of range away from across the screen and initiate into that fight. Even Corki, though he's a standard ranged auto attack carry, he's got his ultimate, that missile barrage that again can poke from over 1,000 range away. So Fnatic's ability to fight from very, very far is exceptionally strong. The only thing holding them back is they don't have a dedicated healer. Moscow 5 has Sona, so if they take that poke damage, they can recuperate, they can get their health back up, and they can sustain those sort of poke fights. and that might be all it takes for Moscow 5 not to have a really rough mid game. But it just depends. If they can catch Sona because of that Leona ultimate, because of Nocturne and Nivea, that might be all it takes for Fnatic to start plowing over Moscow 5's composition.
And as we tick it down, we are going to throw it on to Rachel on the main stage to get this match started.
Thank you so much, Rivington. We spoke before about how the gamers need to hear their fans to play their best. So if you're rooting for M5 BenQ, please make it known. And if you would like to see Fnatic move on, let them hear you. Let's start this game. Rivington Freak, take it away.
And as we now begin day 3 of your Gamescom Season 2 League of Legends European Regional Competition, Moscow 5 BenQ on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, as they enter this best of 3 to move on into the finals and grab themselves a spot. Do you want to see Moscow 5 take game 1?
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Not a single soul.
Not a single soul.
All right. Well, I got the easy one because they were louder last time. If you want to see Fnatic head up 1-0 in this best of 3, let me hear you cheer for Fnatic in the audience.
All right. Either sleeping or no love for Moscow 5.
Or maybe I'm just the better hype man, Riz. That's not true.
So look, we got a little bit of a shadow hide here. They are going to start moving into Tri-Bush. Fnatic very poised for aggression, knowing they have a chance out of the lower bracket. We may see a little bit of more aggressive play here, but Genja cannot see them on the outside. He may be able to see it now. They throw the Flash Frost in, and they are able to capitalize. The Flash out, rather, as Genja has taken, I believe, Mystic Shot. He did not leave himself for the ability to grab there, so he did not choose that Arcane Shift. Forced to flash out. Now, bottom lane Freak could have some straight aggression from the beginning, knowing that Flash is down from the jungler.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Genja did run Summoner Heal as an opening summoner, and so did Lamia, so he doesn't have that Ignite to go for the burst damage, but certainly speaking, Genja on Ezreal is going to be a bit unsafe. But what I really want to point out was some really, really smart play by Fnatic. They knew how far, if Ezreal were in the brush, they knew how far he could see, and they sat at the edge of the fog of war, grouped up, and said, let's lead with a stun. That was nice. And actually a big Wraith steal as well coming out from Shen. So a nice opening here for Moscow 5.
Oh wow, they are still there, just hiding on the side of the bush. Diamond Prox does not know. They're not even going to let him get red buff. First blood possibly coming in, and it is going to be to Lamia. A very nice job, and persistence pays off for Fnatic raid call.
Oh, that was nice. The early invade, they put the ward down, and they've got complete control over the Blizzard buff. Lamia going to keep damaging this, so Cyanide can save his smite and use that to probably go back to his own golem buff. But Lamia, coming in from the side of the lane, means he's going to take some poke here from Genja. And N-rated only level 1 is not a very big threat just yet.
Definitely not, and they are more than happy to get in here. That CC, that crowd control coming out of Leona right from the beginning, and having that fear tether, will they be able to go in? The ward's going to let them know to be very cautious, so Cyanide will know, I don't need to spend any more time here, I'll be wasting experience, back to his jungle.
Yeah, and that's fine. He's going to keep up, generally speaking. When you first blood Elise in and deny his first buff, you can see he's just now starting on his own golem buff, and of course, so is Nocturne. So overall, a great advantage here. You can see already 600 gold in the lead, a great opening here for Fnatic.
Blue buff being grabbed. That'll be up a little bit later, just about a minute off the regular time for their AP carry in mid for Xpeke to get that blue buff. But as well, Diamond Prox is not going to be able to get that blue buff to Alex Ish in time either. So they are going to need those for a little bit longer, and we'll see that aggression in mid possibly coming into play. These are definitely mid laners that can fight each other. Sometimes you'll see mid lanes that really fight top or bottom as they roam, and they are required to follow each other. But this is a very aggressive mid lane, and now as we look bottom, great attack by Genja as he gets the pokes in and just continuously harassing down onto Lamia. Lamia with the phosphorus bombs. The blast, rather, just trying to get some damage in there. The heal from Sona is going to keep Ezreal healed up a little bit more. N-Rated cannot do that for Lamia, so Lamia is going to be forced to pump those potions. He's got to be a little bit more careful about the auto attacks that he takes right now.
Yeah, but the one good thing for him, though, is he has 400 free gold from that first blood. Yep. So if he does chug some health potions, it's not going to be the end of the world for him. However, you just see Genja at full health actually chose to use a potion, which I'm a little bit surprised about. It allows Ghosty Pepper to save some mana, so I understand it a bit. But either way, Lamia with a great opening here. 24 minions, actually an initiation right away onto Genja. So much damage, he will flash backwards, trying to get away. So very low on health. One attack to go. Summoner heal keeps him alive. Lamia now forced to run away. Teleport's coming in. Lamia is so very low. Alex is going to pick that kill up with a rune prison.
Very great vision around the map. Nobody tunneling, everybody understanding what's going on, and the quick teleport will solidify a kill at the 5-minute mark, almost bringing the goal to about even. 400 gold down, and that's the first blood.
Wow, yeah, so there's the first kill on the map for Moscow 5. Still, though, 400 gold in the lead. Fnatic just managing to control so much of this map right now. Cyanide making his way to the top lane. Though it's a little bit push, he's going to turn back around, realizing he can't sneak in behind Shen just yet. But Soaz putting on a great performance right now. Level 5 to level 4. He's going to push Shen into his turret. It's going to make last hitting a bit difficult. We'll see if he's going to do well with that. As Damon goes back into his own jungle. Going to pick up some more gold for himself.
Yeah, Soaz going so fast at those minions. Actually, with that kill, is still out-leveling the mids. Alex Ish still level 4. He's level 5 up top on Soaz. And we saw this deja vu composition earlier, or matchup, I should say. Shen versus Jace. Shen not having fun last thing at the turret. Like you said, he can still do it, but it makes it a little harder. And Jace is just going to continuously lay down that gate and throw out the Q. We do see Nocturne right on the outside. I don't think Darian's going to get too aggressive, and Cyanide may just be wasting a bit of time here.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why he's waiting around. I think he's actually baiting for a counter gank. I think he expects Lee Sin to show up because Jace pushed. Then he pushed again, saying, hey, jungler, come at me. I dare you. And Cyanide was waiting for that. It's not going to be the case. N-Rated missing that shot there onto Genja, but still some great burst damage. And Ghosty Pepper is now out of mana. So those heals are no longer there for Genja. He has no health potions left. Sona has no mana. It's now time for Fnatic's bottom lane to shine. Corki has 2 Doran's Blades. Got some boots there on N-Rated as well. They split that sword. Not going to get jumped on just yet. But N-Rated still has mana for one more attempt.
Yeah, N-Rated doing a great job. We just saw him actually jump onto Gosu Pepper and then try to Zenith Blade onto Genja. So just understanding where the damage is coming from, and with that distance of the Zenith Blade, you're actually stunned for that short amount of time. Ezreal can usually Arcane Shift on that position, but it'll kind of be stuck for a second. But great job and really great mechanics by N-Rated and Lamia down bottom.
Yep, and this is a really good time for them to shove into the turret. They just forced Ezreal to recall because he knew he could get turret dive. There were no wards left for Moscow 5. Even though they gave up a minion wave and a half, they knew they were so unsafe to stand there, and Fnatic knew that. They happily pushed to the turret. They didn't even set up for the gank because they knew Ezreal would leave, but they just got a little bit of free gold and experience advantage, and Corki still winning in minion kills and still has that first blood gold. Lamia is going to be a very threatening champion in this game.
So it looks like we are going to see Genja picking up that fast phage, wants to get a few more hits down onto Lamia before he gets out of range, also giving the HP he would get from the Doran, so he's still keeping himself safe while giving himself that HP and damage. Diamond Prox now going for his own red as it is back up. And we're going to see Cyanide coming back top once again. I do not believe the Diamond Prox showed himself bottom, so the jungler is really none the wiser of where each other are right now.
Yeah, although with Shen so far up here, Cyanide could come in behind Darian and go for some pressure. Darian is pushing. I think he's going to want to recall back for some items pretty soon. But a quick exchange here. Darian down to half health. If only Cyanide had actually chosen to come by, that might have been a forced flash there. Darian will feint some damage and be safe. For those who aren't quite familiar with Jace, Soaz is maxing his Q first. That's going to be Shock Blast plus to the skies when he goes into hammer form. So I know it's rare to see Jace. This is the first time we've really seen Jace in competitive play. Soaz now playing him twice in 3 games. And FYI, you max that Q ability.
Yeah, it's going really well for him, especially changing into forms. You get a little extra damage on that attack, so you can see him hitting the long-range attacks and then happily farming. We see Diamond coming up here to soak up some experience and keep the lane from really pushing into the turret. Blue buff finally going to Expeke. It's going to be very nice for him, and it looks like we actually may see a gank coming out of this. Gosu Pepper finally getting back to lane with some wards. Will be able to give a little bit of safety there. And as they see Diamondprox top and Shen has gone back, they're going to take this advantage and go for this dragon at 9 minutes.
Yeah, but we're going to see them start to regroup because Shen, of course, has a global ultimate. There is a teleport coming in from Alex Ish on Rise. The ultimate is on from Sona. So much damage. Pekka flashes backwards. Darian has arrived as well. It's now a 4 versus 4. Because, of course, Moscow 5 knew that Soaz was top as well. So they knew with their teleport presence, they could make that happen. But Gosu Pepper actually burning 2 summoner spells himself. A lot of flashes overall. And Soaz, oh my gosh, that burst damage. Diamond gonna get hit their Dark Blast. Can he get the kill? Whoa. Yes, he does. Soaz showing up and saying thank you for the Lizard buff.
Yeah, Soaz absolutely hitting everything perfectly there. He did not stutter step one bit, and he knew what needed to be done. Quickly proccing that 3-shot attack, and he only needed one of them as he threw down the Ignite that went through Safeguard. A beautiful job there and understanding he didn't have to go any farther than he needed to.
Yeah, a great kill. Now Fnatic up 500 gold. Their dragon attempt was stopped, but maybe this was actually their plan all along, was to burn the summoner teleport from Rise and to burn that Stand United from Shen. This now gives a lot of map control, honestly, to Fnatic, because all the mobility that Moscow 5 had, it's on cooldown, and it's on cooldown for the next 2 to 3 minutes. So we'll see if Fnatic goes for any big plays. If they try for Dragon again, we might see Soaz push out the top lane, shove it to the turret, recall, and run down to the Dragon to make a 5-on-4 happen.
So as we come into this match, looking at these champions, we actually see that M5 is playing all new champions that they have this matchup, except for Gosu Pepper and Diamondprox. They have both played Lee Sin, and one has played Lee Sin and one has played Sona. So they're kind of really, this is coming into play with the unique champions being picked here, then putting everything on the line and trying these new strats out.
Yeah, and the battle of the vision wards now happening. We saw one just a second ago as Diamondprox tried to just ward out that center dragon area, cleared out the wards, but then Fnatic came back and said, no, we're gonna take vision over. Let's make this happen.
Lamia and N-rated now, pushing in as their lane is at that 75% mark. We see wards being taken down a bit.
It is so much vision control right now from Fnatic, and this means they are going to start up on the Dragon. When you drop pink wards, it means you're going for the attempt at Dragon. Now, the Shen is actually coming down from the side. It's going to be a 5-on-5. Lee Sin is up in the mix. N-rated taking some damage. Here comes Shen off on the left-hand side. So much burst. Cyanide very, very low. Flashes away because he took so much burst. More flashes from Fnatic. Moscow 5 doing an amazing job of stopping all that. And now, even though they're revealed by wards, they are all full health. Fnatic are going to be hard-pressed to stop this Dragon attempt.
Yeah, they are on the outside. They don't have too much vision of this, or they have vision of it rather, but they don't really have any way to get in through that choke point is what I was trying to say. Very nice job as they do get the smite down. Diamondprox helping his team gather a bit of gold there, and they are going to take a 400 gold lead from that. It is 2-1 in favor of Fnatic raid calling kills. The 12-minute mark has just been passed, and every turret still stands on the map.
Yeah, Moscow 5 has always been lauded for their amazing team fight ability. That's always been one of their biggest strengths. Of course, they have a lot of all-star players. They have amazing strategies. They have amazing game plans. But when they get into these 5-on-5 fights, they never miss a beat. Gosu Pepper is happy to flash in and initiate a Sona and take all the damage and die if it means a perfect crescendo that stuns 5 champions. They will make those selfless sacrifices if it means the team fight for the team. And in this case, they didn't even have to die. They just positioned perfectly, forced Fnatic out of that Dragon pit, and took over Dragon for themselves.
Darian now looks like he's getting actually pretty healthy for himself, and he's quickly going, possibly as we saw before, that Sunfire Cape on Shen, so they can continuously push the lane. He can be that double split push factor late in the game, not going to go for that spark, and he's just going to go ahead and stay top lane. As you said, that teleport into Stand United is really going to be the strategy to win them these fights.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very, very big deal. We did see that earlier, the Shen plays when he did come out, just became a late game tear where he would split push off to one side, the rest of the team would be split off the other way, and they would just regroup if a team fight ever did start. Just the fact that you have Shen on your team, and also the Summoner Teleport on Rise, I can't really stress that one enough. There are 2 champions on Moscow 5's roster that are going to get all the way around the map whenever they want, and that's going to allow them to open up so many doors for strategies to make all these kinds of plays where they know they can regroup for a fight in just a moment's notice.
Looks like Cyanide trying to work something out here, but they aren't going to gather for this gank. It looks like there's just too much vision and too much push going on. You see blue buff again being donated over to Xpeke. He was not even halfway down. And looks like Alashis will be doing the same, so they are definitely on the same timer for their blue buffs. However, we're going to see a level 11 to a level 10. Anivia does have that one level on him. It's not going to be too much to Alex Ish, but he is going to try to keep him out of lane as long as possible.
That is a really interesting wall there, Alex. Having to come around the backhand side, seeing the stun just barely miss, but he's taking some free harass. So some good plays there by Xpeke on Anivia. And we're seeing again this top lane. They're fighting back and forth, but Lee Sin, played by Diamond, is waiting around in the wings, is ready to come in if the fight is going to be necessary. Push up to his turret, Soaz still trying to shove in. That turret down to about 1/4 health, so Fnatic are liking these turret pushes. And we'll see if they can make that pressure happen. It's going to be a nice bit of golden coming if they make that. And here comes Diamond. He lands it. He's going to get this slow off into Soaz, but Soaz is going to knock him back out and be safe. He's just going to chill around. Cyanide has an Oracle's Elixir and is going to make his own way up to this top lane as well.
Yeah, you still see that Shen was up there, and he can stand united back into the fight as he was backing. That's why Diamond Prox went so hard on that fight, trying to get that harass down. Almost going for the shock blast, but it hits the first minion, unfortunately, not doing any splash damage to Diamond Prox. And not so much an early Oracles, but a necessary Oracles, since so much vision is on the map right now, and it needs to be denied. It's not being denied from turrets. They're actually staying up quite long for what Fnatic Raid Call did to that first turret at about 11 minutes in their first matchup. It's now about 16 minutes, and you haven't seen a turret go down. Genja getting initiated on, and there goes the Leona ultimate as they turn around. The slower flare does hit. Is it going to be enough with the ignite on? Sona goes in. The last attack from the Q, and they may go down as they both take too many shots from the turret, but they get out by the skin of their teeth. Well done microing that turret damage.
Yeah, that was really, really excellent there by Moscow 5, but in from the back comes Xpeke on Anivia. If they don't know this is coming, this could be a very dangerous situation. Genja's Arcane Shift should be back up. Pekka flashes. The stand united from Shen's going to keep him alive. This could be very, very dangerous as, oh my gosh, the flash across the wall. That's going to be an egg onto Anivia, and Xpeke going to go down. Alex Ish with a great play, teleporting to a minion and arriving just in time to make it a 3-2 lead now for Moscow 5.
A very great job and good focus by Cyanide to get 150 gold for his team from that turret. And you gotta hand it to Moscow 5, Ben Q, initiating second after second. Everything they're doing right now is just in the correct form, in the correct order. That was a beautiful gank down bottom, especially Alexis flashing over that crystal wall and able to just lock down Anivia with the Rune Prism. Diamond Prox being there to help with the rebirth, and they were able to take him down quite handily. 2K on that is going to be actually 1.1 thousand gold. And now Moscow 5 takes the lead and kills at 3-2.
And you're seeing them now push around at the bottom of the map. They want to try to cement this into a bit of a lead here. Okay, Fnatic got the first turret kill, but now Moscow 5, they've got a lot of control over the map. You're seeing Darian shove this top lane quite a bit. That turret down to about 3/4. You're seeing as they're gonna, they're gonna move around. They're gonna go back and pick up some items real quick. But generally speaking, pressure's going to be on pretty soon for Fnatic, and they might lose part of their base if they're not too careful.
Yeah, Fnatic definitely being slowed down by the defenses of Moscow 5 here. At 15 minutes, this game is the lowest amount of gold accrued by Fnatic Raid Call. So it does seem like in this low economy game, they are taking a few more hits. Moscow 5 is not letting them get those advantages and using them to accumulate or get their gold. So Fnatic really needs to do a few more things, start dropping those turrets and get themselves back in. Huge onto Xpeke. The rebirth is down. He respawns and he's put right back into the death chamber. Cyanide also going down in the 2-for-0 in favor of Moscow 5.
And that was so extremely important right there. I believe Anivia did have a golem buff. Actually, I might just be wrong there. But either way, Anivia did go down and they dropped out the Oracle's Elixir, and now they're flanking behind onto this Corki. Lami is not going to like this. Leona's there as well. The dance comes out. So much damage. They're trying to pick up Genja. Enrata goes down, and they do not pick up a kill in return. So Moscow 5, 4 kills, actually 6 kills in a row on the map overall, but 4 of them in very recent order.
You know, amazing gameplay right there. They completely turned the game around. It's like the gate opened at 17 minutes and they said, let's start laning. Let's push them out of the laning phase right now, and let's start doing it our way. And this is the time when you can't really recognize when mid-game starts. One team could start creating mid-game. It's not when towers start to fall, it's when they choose for it to happen. And right now, because of that top tower falling, they're saying, let's start mid-game, let's make this happen. And really, like you said, picking up those 6 kills after quite a lull in the game.
Yeah, and now you're seeing them start shoving. Even though Fnatic is still, they're winning in turret kills somehow. They've got 2-0. Actually, I gotta hand it to Fnatic. I really thought Moscow 5 was gonna be able to cement those champion kills into further advantages by picking up these turret kills. Now, Dragons are going down, that's all great, and they're building advantages elsewhere, but Fnatic actually defending their turrets phenomenally, and that's actually making this game a lot closer than it otherwise would have been, because Moscow 5 have just been on a roll in these recent fights.
You know,
we're going to have a replay of that prior kill onto Xpeka. Lands the stun onto Darien, but it doesn't matter. He shadow dashes in, and there's all this burst damage, and poor Cyanide is not going to like this. The kick from Lee Sin actually knocked him into the air, and the Cyanide went down very, very quickly. And as we speed back up, we get them down into this bottom lane, and suddenly Leona and Corki all alone. Ezreal with the early burst damage. The dance comes off. She tries to initiate, but it just is not going to matter. Genji does not take enough damage to nearly go down. Great job by Moscow 5.
As we are jumping back, we do have a gank onto bottom lane. Xpeke trying to hit that Flash Frost, but he misses a beautiful wall, but Genja jumping over if he needs to. Diamond Prox trying to rebuttal here as the turret goes down. They want to try to get something out of this, but the 4 strong of Fnatic raid call looks to be a bit too much, and they are going to back off of this situation at 22 minutes. Moscow 5, Ben Q holding a 2,000 gold lead.
Soaz about to face check in at Darien. So much burst actually from Darien. Soaz dropped the half health right now, trying to fight 1 versus 1. I think Darien's actually winning this right now. Soaz forced a gate away, but the stun, the taunt is there. Darien still chasing. Can Soaz make his way out of this fight? He's going to try to knock him backwards. Jukes through the brush. Darien's so far away. He's going to flash over the wall though. Soaz, and he lands the taunt. It's going to be a kill picked up.
Wow.
Excellent job right there.
And it's crescendo down bottom, stopping 3 members, but Gosu cannot make it out alive. A nice missile shot by Lamia will be able to pick up that kill for himself with an assist, both on Xpeke and N-rated. Cyanide taking a bit of damage and harass in middle. It looks like they are quickly trying to push down these lanes here as they try to regain control of this map. They try to shut down the Vision on M5 Ben Q. Close Flash Frost does not hit Diamond Prox. He takes advantage of that. Stand United coming in. They do have Xpeke once again. Lamia low down bottom on Alex C. She gets 1 more Q, and he is able to take him out. Xpeke now sitting in Rebirth. I don't think he's going to be able to make it out of this one. He does have blue buff. He may be able to stun one up, but it is not going to be enough in a valiant effort to keep himself alive. Another team double kill for M5 Ben Q.
Wow, just phenomenal fight presence once more. Sure, Fnatic opened up with 2 kills at the bottom. They picked up both those bottom lane champions, but oh my gosh, look at this. Alex is jumping in, will tank that turret happily, doing so much damage. The stun from N-rated will not matter, and Alex will just happily tank like 18 turret shots with just a Rod of Ages and say thank you for the gold. I'm gonna go back. All right, but now let's check out that kill that happened during that duel with Soaz. An amazing opening stun, just blew up Genja. Way too much burst damage for them to get away. And a perfectly aimed solar flare. An amazing wall. Goes to Pepper, got the dance off. Really good stopping there, but the slow's just too much there. Xpeka really just locking him up.
Pings going down as they return in. They're saying we need to get some wards down by Wraiths. We need to make sure we are covered on the entrances to our jungle. That fight from Fnatic raid call shows that they can still make an impact, but if they keep getting caught out in the end of the fight like that, Moscow 5, as you said, Freak, weren't capitalizing too much on the turret kills. They're just getting out with low health. So with these kills, yes, they're getting money, but they're not getting position on the map, which may start to affect them in objectives, and it really may start to affect them in the later team fights.
Yeah, there's absolutely one big thing here that's a comeback potential for Fnatic, which is when champions get a lot of kills in a row, they start to be worth a lot more gold when you kill them. So Alex Ish, 6-0 on Rise. Right now, an obvious case for MVP for Moscow 5. But if Fnatic can pick him off, he's going to be worth almost 500 or 600 gold. So if they can get that kill, suddenly someone's getting really rich. There's assist gold to be had as well. And Fnatic, if they just all 5 champions die on both sides, Fnatic gets closer. And that might be what they're going for, is a nice slugfest where they can pick off these kills, especially on the high priority ones like Ryze.
And for a good amount of focus that went to top lane, it seems like those guys are just left to duke it out here since about 15 minutes in the game. We do have Soaz and Darian just going head to head. As Darian starts to move down, he says, my lane's a bit pushed. I'm going to take the wolves, unless it looks like, no, Alex is like, but I want some wolves. Those guys are going to trade off a few. It looks like Darian will get all of them as he returns to top lane. And we may start to see some of these turrets going down. Moscow 5 BenQ very, very cautious in their gameplay right now. They have been all over the map, but only aggressing when they know they're going to come out 100% on top.
Yeah, Moscow 5's sort of team fight, just clarity is amazing. Yes. Every fight they have chosen, they have won beautifully. Fnatic's last few kills, they opened up amazingly in lane with the 2-to-1 opener. They got the first blood, got a couple of lane kills, but then the last time that Fnatic did well was by having a great brush sneak, where out of nowhere, Anivia got this stun off onto Ezreal, and it just opened up a world of pain. But from the 3 versus 5, honestly, Moscow 5 just came back and picked up kills of their own. And so Fnatic, what's been working for them have been these really awesome sneaky plays. The first blood kill, their kills recently, they've been really good at being sneaky and just picking off champions, really being assassins, which I like that. It's a really cool way of playing, and it's getting them most of their kills. What Moscow 5 is doing is being this just behemoth train that will not be stopped. They're an unstoppable force when they put themselves together and say, let's go fight. They are choosing really, really, really good fights, and that's how they're getting ahead. So we'll see if it's going to be an information game, because Fnatic's got those kills by hiding in the brush, by lurking in the shadows, and that's what Fnatic needs to play up right now.
You know, I gotta give credit to Genja. Going against a first blood Lamia in lane has been able to beat him in purchases and in CS. Lamia did not go back for a first buy after that first blood, so you kind of still have the same thing in lane, just a little more experience to your opponent. But he's done a very good job at out-CSing and out-purchasing Lamia.
Yeah, and right now we're just seeing Lamia trying to catch up, though. He's got a couple of minions to kill for himself. We're seeing 169 minions to 190. They both got the Trinity Force, but Ezreal got a chain vest suddenly out of there. So 7,200 to 7,700. Yep, a 500 gold lead there. And of course, the biggest factor here is going to be that Ryze. 9,300 gold there for Alex Ish. He is about a quarter of his team's gold.
And looks like Anivia now getting quite powerful. Xpeke picking up that needlessly large rod, as well as he has his Chalice and the Rod of Ages to continuously buff him. That Chalice with the blue buff is going to just allow him to throw down his ultimate all the time. You can see him do it right there as he just wave clears. We have Jace picking up that Bloodthirster. A few, not so much core items, but much needed items being finished on these teams. We do see Anivia, as I said, that Rod of Ages that wriggles on Nocturne to help with the objectives, as well as map vision. And you can see the team also contributing to warding as well. Wards in almost all of the inventory on Fnatic Raid Call, as well as Moscow 5 as they lay down their wards.
Yeah, but really it's Fnatic that needs to control this vision. Again, the way they've been winning these fights have been with vision superiority, and they need to make sure this happens. The last time Cyanide bought on Oracles, he was picked off within just a few minutes by Moscow 5. So if he can stay safe, I think that's the best buy for him. Because I don't know, with the gold lead the way it is, 4,000 is not too much. It's definitely winnable, especially when you've got so much mobility and separation potential here. When you've got Anivia on your team, no game is really ever unwinnable. You can wave clear minions very, very easily to make sure that pushes never happen. You can see the second minion wave show up in the mid lane. He just kills them off, and there's no way Moscow 5 can push. And if you fight off in the jungle, an amazing Crystallize could just completely lock off the ability of the enemy to get at you or retreat, or you can separate them into a 2 versus 5 with 3 out in the wings unable to join in. So any fight ever could always turn in Fnatic's favor, so maybe they do want to bait them out into these battles, but I don't know. The late game potential here of a Ryze, just the damage potential there, the tankiness of Shen, because Soaz is going for damage output. He's going Bloodthirster into Trinity Force. Soaz can die on Chase. The dedicated tanks, it's a support. It's Leona. She's just now starting to get some items. You know, this Nocturne, he's not very tanky either right now. And actually, Cork, you can see just how scary that Ryze was, forced to flash away in Pop Summoner Heal and Valkyrie just to escape from one champion.
You know, and that's one of the scary things about Alex Ish. If he thinks he can take you out, you are probably going to go down. You saw him go down there and go face to face with Corki. He was not even worried. He understood where they were on the map. He figured out what was going to happen and what his chances were. And like I said, never aggressing unless they know they're going to come out on top.
Yeah, but right now, Fnatic, I think, is relying on Soaz. He's level 17. He is, I guess he's tied with Xpeka as the 2 highest level champions on their roster right now. But they're going to be the big forces here. Now, Lamia has finished his Trinity Force. That's definitely a very, very big deal for him. That's going to get him accelerated throughout this game. So he's got a decent mid game there. But if you want just all-out damage output, right now they're going to be relying on Soaz and Anivia, and that's how Fnatic are going to win their fights.
And we do see M5 BenQ finally taking down some turrets here, trying to give themselves some room. Very nice pinch coming from M5 as they try to come in on Fnatic Raid Call. Raid Call knows they need to back up. They see a ward that hits Rise. They get a ping down on it, but they are not going to go for it. He's saying they may be coming for me. It looks like he may be just waiting for this lane to push down bottom. Alex Ish is helping to go for this split push. That teleport stand united is going to be huge for these guys coming into this 30-minute of the match.
He's baiting for Lamia. He's been in that brush for about 30 seconds. He knows that Lamia is going to come to that right-hand side and clean up that lane. But Lamia knows better. He knows champions are missing on the map. And Alex is just going to get the farm. He's not going to find Lamia coming aggressive.
Everybody's really just trying to find the mistake of the other team right now. There's not too much aggression like we just saw, and you were saying Alex waiting bottom for over 30 seconds really to get that kill for himself, and he's still down there. He just wants that kill. He wants to shut down Lamia, and they want that force push down through middle. Ezreal picking up red buff. Looks like we do have some wards going down onto Baron, and it actually looks like they are doing Baron. A 2-person Baron by M5 BenQ at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, this is great. Lee Sin and Sonya. You can see Lee Sin constantly diving back with that safeguard to keep Gosu Pepper healthy with those shields. Gosu Pepper able to spam out heals and damage. And absolutely, Moscow 5 is none the wiser. They do not, or Moscow 5, Fnatic is none the wiser. They have no wards. You can see so much darkness around right there. And Diamond is staying full health. Look at that. They're just chilling by the mid turret. Rise is pushing bottom. Ezreal and Shen are in the mid lane. They just have no idea. Baron down to 1/4 health with no interruptions whatsoever. Amazing, amazing play here by Moscow 5. Ezreal's going to show up at the last second just to get a little bit more damage, just to make sure they clear it off. But a great Baron sneak 30 minutes in. Beautiful, beautiful play by Moscow 5.
That's been huge. They have control of this map for just taking down the turrets. They've thought, you know, they have the turrets down, they have a mid. And that's where 3 of the members of Fnatic Raid Call have been sitting. They really weren't milling about the jungle. Like I said, everybody's trying to catch somebody off guard, but you can't do that if you guys are all just hanging out holding hands. We just saw them grab Baron for absolutely free with 2 people because of Wriggle proc.
Oh, of course. They just get so much damage output on neutral monsters because of that Wriggle's Lantern. And that's one of the advantages of getting an attack speed-based jungler like Nocturne or like Lee Sin, is you buy up this item pretty early on. It gives you a lot of sustain, gives you a nice ward active, and you deal a lot of damage when you fight minions and monsters.
You just saw the pings come out. They pinged Jace up top, and they said, yeah, they're also going for Dragon. That means we could have a 5v4. Going in very hard. We do see Diamond procs coming in quite quickly, forcing Cyanide out of the fight. Enrady taking a lot of damage. He gets pinched from both sides and takes a foot to the face from Diamond, going down quite hard. That is going to be another one for M5, uncontested.
Well, and Alex's build is really interesting. I've not seen this before from Rise. He got the Tear of the Goddess and Rod of Ages for mana, and generally speaking, when you play Rise, your abilities are going to scale off of your maximum mana more so than ability power. But after that, he just started stacking magic penetration. He's got the Haunting guys, he's got the Abyssal Scepter. It's going to be very, very hard for Fnatic to really survive his onslaught of abilities. And Soaz, speaking of surviving, not liking this fight against Darien either. Darien's going to break him down in a one-on-one. Withsend, Trinity Force, and the Sunfire Cape is all it takes. And now Moscow 5 are pushing in to Fnatic's base. Lamia immediately blown up, and Nivi's not going to like his chances either. So much damage going off. Alex each picking up the kill onto Cyanide as well. Expect to force a flash out of his own base. Will land the stun onto Genja, but Summoner Heal's going to keep that Ezreal alive, and they still have the ability to push.
M5 BenQ so aggressive right now, not even giving Fnatic Raid Call room to breathe. Rebirth just under the turret. Gosu doing what he can to power cord the health away from Xpeke. Xpeke, oh, gets hit with True Shot Barrage. Goes for the Zonias. It's going to be here for a nice statue, but he will go down, and somebody's going to put that over their mantle. An ace coming out of the hands of Ezreal. Very nice job by M5 BenQ, just continuously knocking on the front door of Fnatic Raid Call.
Oh, and they are going to keep the pressure up. They've got Sona, who's got a bit of extra mana regeneration thanks to that Baron buff. and the entire team has extra health regeneration thanks to that same Baron buff, so they are happy to keep on pushing right now. And actually, the surrender comes out at 33 minutes. Moscow